Good morning, everybody. Today's class is for back health. If you've ever had back pain, many of the poses we'll be practicing this morning can help relieve that. We're going to start in a pose that you might need to put your back on the wall for, but I'm going to turn to the side and show you. You'll have your legs stretched out in front of you with your feet flexed. Your palms just press the mat beside your hips. And if your back is rounding, if you notice your shoulders are rounding, then you can, I've got a wall right here behind me, you can sit with your back on the wall and practice with your back on the wall. What you're doing in this pose is not only strengthening the muscles that support your spine, but releasing the hamstrings, the back of the legs. So again, from the side, it looks like this. You're pressing into your hands and flexing your feet and maintaining your posture. Your chest and collarbones stretch wide open. Your arms and legs are active. And we'll try holding this 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll come to our backs. I've shown you different ways you can come to your back. You can hold the backs of your legs. You can reach out. You can prop up on your forearms to come down on your back. But you'll come down on your back now and rest your low back on the mat. Keep your left foot on the floor. Extend your right leg up. Hold behind the thigh, and your knee can be bent a little bit if you'd like. And start to circle your ankle. Breathe in and out through your nose. Then slow down, circling your ankle. Bring your foot into something my friend Marsha calls pointed. That's not flexed, not pointed, somewhere kind of in between. And squeeze your knee to your chest. This compression is good for you. Let's switch sides. Bring your opposite leg up, interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Remember, a little bend in the knee is fine. Toes aren't pointed or flexed, somewhere in between. Keep the back of your head on the floor and start to circle your foot around. In yoga, you are breathing, and you always breathe, you know that, but you're breathing with an awareness of when you're starting to breathe in and how long the breath lasts, and when you're starting to breathe out and how long the breath lasts. So think about your breath while you move. Now let's slow down. Your ankle might be starting to burn a little bit. And then squeeze your knee to your chest. Option 1 for this next pose is to stretch one leg out until it touches the ground and squeeze the other knee in. And then to stretch that leg out till it touches the ground and then squeeze the opposite knee in. So option 1, good, is just keeping your hands up here to grab the knee. Option 2, curl your knee and nose toward each other and then stretch out long. Curl and stretch. Let's go one more time to each side. And then rest and just stretch your legs out here for breath. Oops, I've gotten off my mat here. Move back just a tiny bit. Okay. We're going to come sitting up. And once you've got yourself sitting up, bring your right ankle. See how I'm leaning back into my hands? Bring your right ankle to rest on your thigh here. There are ways to deepen this, and if you feel like you want to stay here, you can obviously stay here. But you can deepen this by either bringing the heel closer to your hip or your hip a little closer to your heel. Okay. And once you've got that, start to rock your legs from side to side. Good. Just exploring your hips. This releases some of the muscles of the hips, some of the superficial, the ones that are closer to the skin, and some of the ones that are deeper into the hip socket. Choose anywhere in this rocking motion. Choose a place to be still with something that felt really interesting to you. For me, that's right about here. Interesting is different from painful. Interesting means you're challenged, but you aren't hurting. Now let's try the same thing on the other side. So when you switch sides, you might notice that you are more flexible on this side and want to scoot closer, or you might be less. You're going to know if your knee starts to hurt that you need to lessen the pose, which means that you'd scoot your foot and your hip a little further away from each other. Good. So we're just going to start to rock from side to side. Smooth, deep breath. That's it. Steady and slow. Never rush your yoga practice. Even in the power yoga classes that I teach, even in the advanced level classes that I teach, I tell students that the mark of an advanced yogi is someone who is never rushing. I'll find the place that feels interesting, like we said before. For me, it's about here, and hold that place. Then bring both of your feet to the floor and walk your feet in close to your body. This is a different way to come to a standing position. It's called a tiptoe squat. If you do not enjoy full flexion of the knee and you want to cross your ankles like we've been doing and come to a standing forward fold, you can do that. Otherwise, you're going to bring your feet together and your knees together and just walk yourself up so that you're, here, let me move more toward the middle of the mat, so that you're sitting on your heels. You can see my heels are off the ground. This is called a tiptoe squat. It is a balancing pose, so you have the choice to keep your fingertips here on the floor, or you can try bringing your hands to heart center. And meanwhile, if you're not choosing this pose, you're rocking over from a cross-leg position and finding your standing forward fold. Just take your time finding that. And now breathe out, fingertips to the floor, and lift your hips. Drop your head. And let your arms just hang. My hands touch the floor, but if your hands don't touch the floor, you can just hang. If your hands do touch the floor, that's when you might want to hold opposite elbows. Oh man, this shirt. Coming up. And let's breathe out and bend the knees. If you weren't holding opposite elbows, hold them now and then bring your elbows up to your thighs. Breathe out and round your back. And breathe in to arch your back. Last time, breathe in and breathe out. Make your neutral spine. Your neutral spine in yoga means that you're not rounding or arching. Your spine feels straight. And then stand up. So face this long side of your mat and step your feet out wide. So when you're placing your feet, a good marker of how far apart to place your feet is to extend your arms and look down and see if your feet look like they're under your hands. We're going to turn the right toes out and we'll turn the left toes in. Bend your front knee, again, just like in Warrior 2, we did a few days ago. You want to be able to see your big toe down there. Extend your arms on the in-breath. Well, reach out here to the right, toward that right bent knee, and very lightly place your forearm on your thigh. Your top arm is going to reach. Now this arm, it shouldn't have a whole lot of weight in it. You're working to strengthen your legs. You're going to take the legs and draw them in, take the low belly and draw it in, and just like triangle, any of our poses where the gaze is upward, you can turn your head and look down. Good. So holding steady, building strength. 2 more breaths. And 1. Push strongly through both feet, not just the front one. And straighten your front leg. That one builds heat in the body. It's a good heat builder. Let's switch sides. Bend your knee. Extend your arms. Breath in. Breath out. Reach and rest. Top arm extending. This pose is called side stretch because the top side body is stretching, but also remember the bottom side body wants to stretch. Don't compress and get all up here in your hip. Extend out here toward your knee. And keep this bottom shoulder unshrugged. Lots of folks, when they get tired, they'll start to sink into the side body. I see that a lot. Drop the shoulder and use your strength. And if you can't maintain that form, stand up and rest. Good. Breathe out. And breathe in. Straighten your front leg. Reach out. And rest your arms. Bring your feet together. If you have a wall close by and you want to use a wall, I'm going to show you how to. This is a balancing pose called dance or prep. When you're practicing this pose, you want to keep your knees together and you can reach back. You're going to use this hollow part of the palm to reach back and hold the outside of your ankle. So let's start on the right leg. If you're going to use the wall, go to the wall and let your right side body face the wall. Put your hand on the wall. I'll practice with the wall. Bend your knee, reach back and hold your ankle. Good. Yep. Keep your knees side by side. So here at the wall, you can use the wall as much or as little as you need to. So if I feel comfortable here and ready to let go of the wall, I could let go of the wall and extend up through this arm. And then to show you from the front, let me just turn around, show you from the front. My knee is not out like this. Right? My knees are together. And then the bones here at the front of the hip are lifted. This is really good for stretching the tissues of the chest, the psoas, too many things to list, but those are a couple. Here, here. And then release. Let's switch sides. If you're at the wall, you'll need to turn and face the other way so that your left hand can go to the wall. So that's what I'll do. Turn, put your hand on the wall, and use that inside part of the palm to hold your foot. Yeah. Flex, lift. You want to honor this curve in the low back. You want to honor this curve in the low back, but don't let your butt stick out like this. Try to drop a tiny anchor from the tailbone so that you can feel the stretching across the front of your hips. If you want to let go and extend your arm, you can do that. Let's take 2 more breaths. 1 more. When you release, release with awareness. Don't come crashing out of the pose. Let's stand firmly in mountain pose for a moment. Just open your palms and close your eyes. Remember that you are aware of the start of your in-breath. You're aware of the start of your out-breath. You're following each of these 2 breaths to their finish. Open your eyes, and we'll come down to a seat. We have 1 more pose. We have bridge pose. We practiced this one at the beginning of one of our days this week. So again, you can come to your forearms to lie down. You can hold the backs of your thighs to lie down, or you can extend your arms. So I'll choose holding the backs of my thighs this time. I'm going to come down onto my back. Make sure my back is planted there. And walk the shoulder blades in and press the palms into the floor. This is a variation, meaning it's a little different than the bridge pose we practiced the other day. So instead of your feet being hip distance apart, walk your feet in so that your feet are touching. You probably won't lift your hips as high. You're just going to do the best you can with this one. So breathing in, lift your hips. And if you can, interlace your fingers under your back. Walk your shoulder blades closer. And let's bring the right knee into the chest and then stretch the toes up. This is a very challenging pose. So just do the best you can. Put your foot back down if you start to feel like this is too much for you at this time. And now bend your right knee, replace it, reset everything. Tune into your breath. And let's pull the opposite knee in, stretching up. There's a hard and fast rule that you don't turn your head when your hips are off the ground. So I'm not looking at you and you're not looking at me right now. Just look up toward the ceiling, or if you're practicing outside, up toward the sky. And exhale, knee to chest and foot to the floor. Let's unlace the fingers, walk everything apart, and bring both knees to the chest. One more time, full inhale and a complete exhale. Feet to the floor. Then we'll stretch out for Shavasana, resting pose. So I've shown you different things you can do. You can stretch your legs out long or tent your knees. Palms turn up. And you know, most of the time I'll just have to be honest, and I need to tell you, when I come into Shavasana, I do not keep my hair in a ponytail because it's not as relaxing as just letting it go. So if you're wearing a ponytail, just let it relax. Go, and you can take it out. Begin to get still. Relax your toes, your feet. Relax your legs and hips. Your back and belly. Relax your arms, your shoulders, your neck. And then your face. Take a deep breath in. And a slow breath out. Turn your head from side to side on the mat. And then gently walk your feet in and roll onto your side. Push yourself up to a seat. Bring your hands to heart center here. Breathe out. Let's make a wide circle overhead to breathe in. And exhale the thumbs back to heart center. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.